So the other day, CrossFit deactivated their Instagram accounts and Instagram for CrossFit, and then also for the CrossFit Games. Deactivated both of them, just like with no announcement, no explanation, no rhyme or reason, just deactivated those accounts. And it's fascinating to see how the CrossFit community, especially the CrossFit community from like the last several years, people that have been in the game for more than a few years, people who have been in the game and followed regionals, followed the CrossFit Games, who knew CrossFit before there were sanctionals, especially to see their reaction to all of this as the CrossFit, like other box owners, the affiliate owners page, for example, is just like lit up with conversation after conversation after conversation revolving around this. So a lot of us as box owners are extremely opinionated about how this goes. And I'm always a little reluctant to share my opinions on things when my opinions are still forming or as I'm still learning about something. And essentially, like, we're still learning the direction that CrossFit is going since in the last year, since the, whatever you want to call it, since the de-establishment of regionals, the de-establishment of CrossFit media, the shifting of CrossFit from a media company to some other kind of business. Look, we're still like in the process of like learning what all of this means for us as business owners, as box owners, and keeping that in mind, like, I am fully willing and ready to admit that I may not know the whole story, and therefore anything I say today, I could be entirely wrong, and my opinions might change later based on what we learn in the near future. But that said, here are my opinions pursuant to what we've seen with the Instagram accounts deactivation, right? Like, hey, how do I feel about all of this, having seen that? So first, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the changes, right? I know that CrossFit is not looking to be a sport broadcasting engine anymore, and I know that they're not looking to be a media company anymore, but you don't have to be a media company to have a presence on Instagram. In fact, every business worth its salt has a presence on Facebook and Instagram. Every business, like your local general contractors, have a presence on Facebook and Instagram if they're running their business professionally, and if they're smart, they have that presence. If I mean, you could be like a massage therapist. You could be a dog sitting business, and you have a presence on Facebook and Instagram. So to completely like detach from Instagram entirely, to me, feels an awful lot like sticking your head in the sand and just pretending like something isn't there. Now, there are rumors that like CrossFit they're taking down their existing Instagram presence with the plan of replacing it with a different Instagram presence. And if that's the case, okay, the jury's still out. I will await a passing judgment. But that said, like, the general theme of how I feel is that CrossFit is doing an awful lot to eliminate its own cool. CrossFit has been the cool kid in the room for a long time, and it's been the cool kid, like, he was like rebellious and like sticking it to the man and standing up against the system and the establishment. And, you know, a lot of us, myself included, really love that aspect of CrossFit. That's great. That's awesome. Love that part of it. And detaching from Instagram does not feel like a move to maintain our cool, to change the website where there's fewer pictures and there's not the demonstration videos, there's no highlighting of like success stories like there was. Feels a lot like a zebra in the jungle putting on clothes to mute its colors and hide the fact that it's different. It feels a lot like trying to not stand out, trying not to be a panda in the zoo, a unique, different character. It feels a lot like that. And it's like muting our colors. It's like the changes that we had on the Instagram account, and especially with like the antifreeze bottles, like lifting, like a lot of that, it just wasn't cool at all. And the new changes don't seem cool, and it's making a lot of us like feel less cool. So I'm not a fan of that. Like the CrossFit Games were cool. Regionals were cool. The CrossFit homepage was cool. And all of those things, you tease those out, you phase those out. Everything like our public image is less cool than it was. And that is not cool with me. Again, the jury's still out. We'll see what all this means in the coming days and weeks and months, because Greg Glassman is a genius, and he has not been wrong with his brand in the past. So again, I'm going to defer to the higher powers and say the jury's still out on this one. I'm really hoping that there is a rollout of a better 3.0 version, not just an absence of any version in the near future.